Hello, people of the earth, and welcome to a second episode. For some reason I'm doing one. No, I'm just kidding. To the second episode. It is the second episode of Shut Up Me. No, it's actually called Chatty Aki. Ugh. I get to talk some more, not to the brick wall over there, or the brick wall over there. Never mind. I get to talk to you again. Yay! What's the topic today, Aki? Well, Aki, it's about my plushies. Your plushies, you say? What am I doing? My plushies. As you are aware, or not aware, I have a what's the appropriate technical language for this? Oh yes, a shitload of plushies. That's the appropriate amount that I have and the name for it, trust me. And I have, obviously I've acquired these not through conventional methods. Well, I have some of them through conventional, but that's boring. Just buying them is boring. I want to earn these. I don't know why I have the need to earn them, but yeah, it's like money just over a counter isn't enough, and also it kind of makes me look like it, you know, it makes me a little boy again, kind of, because I'm just going ahead like this one, please. So I've done that rarely. Not that I'm embarrassed about it, but you know, I've had a few looks considering some of the ones that I purchased. So I'm just refraining from that. So I've had to acquire plushies through other means that doesn't make people question who the fuck I am, and yeah. Also, delightful. So yeah. I've had to, and I'm going to share some of those experiences. In fact, I'm going to share all of them with you. Why not? We got time. Yeah. Plenty of time. So I have a bunch of plushies over here. Don't worry, there's not that many. And I don't know how, this is probably not going to be as long as the next one, as the last one, as the next one. Well, probably not as long as the next. I don't even know what the next one is. I've got a fair idea what the next one is because I need to tell you by the end. But yeah, so they're not that long of a story, and it's not going to be an hour. But you know, it's me we're talking about here, so I don't fucking know. So where to start? Right. So oddly enough, I'm going to categorize. Here's that word again. I'm going to categorize in the order that I got them. So we're starting with the oldest, and we're going to go to the most recent one, which is funny because the oldest one is the funniest story, and then the last one is actually kind of sweet and will make you cry, probably. Oh. So this is the first one in our collection. Although you've probably seen it from the thumbnail, to be honest, what they all are. So yeah, but this is the first one I've acquired with a funny story. Stop. If you don't know who this is Barty Boy. We had a Simpsons Enough theme last time. I've still got it here. Also, the sun is gleaming down from the window over there, so I've had to close the curtain. So things are a little bit dark, you know why, but I think enough light's bleeding through. The arm of my chair has never been so enlightened before. So, yeah. We're fine on lighting, aren't we? You nod. So, this one... This dear chap is my baby. He's no, he's the size of a baby. But I usually hold up my babies by the back of their neck, you know. So this one was acquired through a claw machine. Yeah, compelling stories are going to be about here. Now, trust me, this one's funny as hell. And also, you'll realize how stupid I was back in the day. This one's been with me for what? I must have got this in 2005. Yeah, I'd say that. Hang on a minute. Yeah, well, 2005, 2004, somewhere there. So basically, the claw machine, as you can tell, was a huge one, because the little claws are not going to be able to pick about this one. This is proof that claw machines are possible. In fact, the majority, I've got proof that claw machines are goddamn possible. You should look at my house. They're possible. That's how I've acquired them, through other means. Clue. But yeah, this one was, obviously there were other giant Simpsons characters in this one. But this was located in a bowling alley where I live. Or precisely not where I lived. I actually had to walk quite a distance to get to the, because we just went bowling one day and I saw this and I'm like, this has to be mine. And there was other Simpsons families in there, like a giant Homer and a giant Marge and a giant Lisa and a giant Maggie. And I think there might have been someone else in there, I can't recall. I don't know. Well, I don't know what they were doing in there. It might have been a giant Millhouse. So obviously I'm like, I want that. So after we were bowling, I decided, well, I've got some change, let's just fucking go for it. There were plenty in there. Like, it was a big, the claw machine was about the size of a small room, you know, that's how big it was. And it was just full of them. So it was like, and there was a box in the corner, so when this giant, hideous, scary looking claw would pick one of these guys up, it would go over and drop it in the box. But to save you, you know, for cheats for climbing into the machine, there was like an automatic door on it, so it would only open if the claw picked up something and dropped it in, and then, yeah, and then it would close again. Otherwise, you'd just send a little kid in there to go and grab one and be like, yeah. And then you say, you stay in there and pretend to be whoever you want to be. I'll bring you some clothes that are appropriate, and you can be grabbed by a claw. No, I'm just kidding. So that's how it works. And obviously I didn't get him on the first attempt. Whoever gets things in a claw machine on the first attempt, especially when you don't come prepared, and I only had so much. I probably spent around £10, to give you an idea. I don't know how much that is in dollars anymore. It's probably a little bit less. So yeah, maybe we'll safely say like $7. I don't know, 6. So about that amount. And obviously came away unsuccessful. I'm like, I want to eat. So we drove. Obviously, parents at the time, because I couldn't drive, and I still can't drive. So hey, what else is new? So we had to drive back. So I'm like, one day I'm gonna go back to that bowling alley and I'm gonna get this thing right here in my hands. How long we got? We're fine. Okay. So it's, where did I live? Yeah, it was. I had to walk for a good 2 hours. The better part of 2 hours, just to get to the bowling alley again, just so I could go up to this claw machine and go, money. I literally came up and said that. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No. I like playing with his ears. You're going to be so much fun. Sorry. Getting way too distracted. You go over there. I don't know. No, you're staying with me. Sorry, I'll get distracted again. Camera, you. Hi. This is going to be a very distracting episode. Yeah. That 5 minutes is going to be up in a minute. Okay, so I continually I think I took about 40 pounds with me that time for the second attempt. I'm like, I've got to have more than that. We're gonna get this Barty boy here. Guess what? Didn't get it again. I'm like, ah, oh, come on! I spent 40 pounds on you. I'm pretty darn accurate with claw machines as well. That's one thing you have to do in order for them to succeed. You can't just make the claw go down and hope for the best. Because it is a bit of a trade secret how they work, so I'm not going to spill too much. But the claw can grab stuff, even though sometimes it doesn't look like it can. Proof. You know, a thing this size, it's got to be heavy for the claw to even lift up. But eventually, so I had to walk back home for 2 hours, feeling rather shit that I've wasted 40 quid on a 2-hour walk and a 2-hour walk back just to get nothing. But hey, I was loaded back then and stupid. Now I'm just stupid. Sun. Yeah. That's the other reason. I'm gonna have the sun in my flipping eye. I might have to go and close the curtain again after this. Yeah. Oh, I've got 3 minutes. The sun's gonna kill me. It's all good. So, obviously, I go back a week later with more money. I went with 50 this time. So, and then continually tried to get this one. He's a bit tattered now, look. He's got a bit of string there, look. I don't know if you can see that. But obviously the third attempt was the best one, because I actually got the fucking thing. But there's even an interesting story behind that. Because how am I supposed to word this? So after like 45 pounds was spent, the claw machine grabs it successfully. I'm like, you know, you're watching it go up. The machine was taller than I was standing up, just about. Like, it was kind of like here. So the claw was like there. And then, when I'm standing up, that is, not when I'm sitting down. It picks it up. It takes it over to the box where it's supposed to drop it in. Guess what happens? The lids that were supposed to go, or however they're supposed to work, because I've never seen them open, clue, they didn't open. So I'm like leaning against the glass going, no, what am I gonna do? So the sucky part is, obviously I had to go over to the desk and say, mine. Obviously I didn't do that. This is just for comedic effort. God damn it, son. I'll just lean over here for a second. It's no problem. Bye. So the doors didn't open, so I had to go over to the desk and say, excuse me, how do you put it into words that you've won a plushie of Bart Simpson in a giant claw machine, and your mechanism to release it to the wild into my arms are not working? You don't say that, that's for sure. So, obviously I had to explain that, you know, I just said one of the machines, I won one of the machines over there, and it won't let me have the thing. The thing.
Dump the rice into the thing.
I've forgotten what I said, but it was awkward, put it that way. So the person had to go over. They had some keys. There was obviously there was a way to put the plushies in, but the way to put the plushies in was like a giant door on the side. And they'd and I'd have to point and say, because Bart was literally lying on top of it like this. I mean, his back was broken, guaranteed. And because the doorway's kind of arched upwards, so it was like, So I had to say, look, it's not opened, and so they said, well, I'll get the key, and then they got the key, and then they went, I'm like, damn right, I spent almost £100 on this, or over £100 on this. This cost me £100. It was bloody worth it. Although I wish I could have done with that 100, because what else could I do with £100 right now? No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, that's how I got this one. There was other ones that I wanted in there. It's like there was that thought of, now I have one of them, I can get another one. I was stupid. I would still do it now, actually, if it was still there. Obviously it's not, but my journey ended when I came back a few weeks later to try and get another one. I mean, it'd be appropriate if I got a Lisa with you, wouldn't it? And then you'd have a giant, because Homer didn't seem, the Homer and Marge were kind of out of proportion, like they're only a little bit bigger than him, so it was kind of appropriate that I just get someone that looks size appropriate to the one that I currently have. But I only had one shot at her, didn't get her, because otherwise she'd be here. And then the next week after, the machine wasn't there anymore. So I'm like, well, poo, what am I going to do here now? So I just went shopping, because there's a shop nearby. So I just went, well, let's just go in there and eat my joy. So yeah, I wasn't even satisfied with this one. To give you an idea, yeah, son. So yeah, this is how I've acquired this yellow thing here. Over £100. Do you think he's worth over £100? I don't think he's worth it. I've got an example here. You've seen this one probably on a live stream before and every so often, but this is Tails from Sonic Boom. And he cost in the shop, he's been purchased because he's got this ridiculous looking tag on him. And I hate that, but at least you can hang him up on this little hook somewhere. This cost about $7.99, just under £10. So yeah, do you think it's a good comparison? 100? No, I don't think so either. Oh well. Well, I've had enough of you. Go away. Sorry. Under £10. Right, coming up next is another big one. It's a big one. It's a toad! Ow. Man, he can knock someone out if you swung that at someone's face. He's secretly a boxing glove. You just stick his hand up. Never mind. So this is a giant ass toad. I didn't need this giant ass toad. This giant ass toad is a giant ass mistake. How did I come across this one, may you ask? So the first one was stupid. Bart was the stupid story. This is the accidental stupid story. So I went to a place called Chesington World of Adventures, which is like a theme park, you know, with roller coasters and long flumes and teacup rides and kids being a pain in the ass, basically. You know, that kind of place. So obviously there was a stall there, and they were selling these also very giant plushies. He's actually like a beanbag. So it's kind of like that kind of texture, all the way, everywhere. So yeah, and they were selling stuff like that, and it was all kind of video game characters, and there was Mario and Sonic and other things. I think there was a Crash Bandicoot there and stuff like that. And there was a Bomberman. Should have gone for him, really. Why didn't I know why I didn't go for him. He wasn't big enough. He was actually kind of small. So I wanted one of the big ones, obviously. But the game, it was like a stall that you played a game, and if you won, obviously you'd get one of these. And they said anyone, you know, if you won, you get anyone. So I'm like, great. Obviously this wasn't the target. The target was actually a Shadow the Hedgehog, and it wasn't actually even for me. It was for someone else, who's a good friend of mine. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Good friend. And I'm like, this person really likes Shadow, so I'm gonna get her a giant Shadow beanbaggy plushie. And he was like, so the stall was like on a corner, and the roof was overhanging, so I had like so it was slanted, and then it was flat underneath, and Shadow was kind of hanging directly in the corner underneath this slanted bit of roofing. And I'm like, want that. So I played the game, and the game involved like there was a barrel. A very small kind of container, not really a barrel. It was like a basket or something, and it was tilted to up to the side like this, so it was slanted just like the fucking ceiling. And the idea is you have to throw 3 balls into the thing and have them stay in there. And I know that sounds easy, but it wasn't, because obviously if you throw it in there, it's going to bounce directly on the bottom and come bouncing back out again. So you have to kind of curl it around so it rolls around inside the container and stays in the container, because there wasn't much wall to stop it from coming back out again no matter how you throw it in. So that was the technique, and obviously I knew it, because otherwise I wouldn't have this pile of poo. Not that he is a pile of poo, but I'll show you why I didn't really need him later. Hint hint. So took a few attempts, not as expensive as £100. But still a hunky chunk of I think about £15 I had to spend on that stand before I won and got all 3 balls within the container thing. And the guy was like, well done, what would you like? And I'm like, I would like that Shadow please, over there. And he actually said to me some half-assed story of actually we can't sell that one because it's been outside and it was raining recently, and it's like he couldn't help it. But it's like there's something like if they get wet, like it becomes like poisonous or something nasty, or you know, just something you don't want to touch because it'll give you rabies or something. I don't know. Probably not bad, but but yeah, he said you couldn't have that. I couldn't have that one. I'm afraid, but you can pick anyone else that's inside. So obviously the look of disappointment and pissed offness consumed my face. Okay, it wasn't that bad. God damn it, the sun's just travelling across that window, isn't it? You're having fun out there, fucking asshole. So I was just like, what do I go for then? Well, the only thing I like here other than that Bomberman's not big enough, clearly I won't go for that, is this Toad, and he's massive. Yeah, let's get a giant Toad. And I just said, well, I'll have the giant Toad over there then. And he obviously picked it up and gave it to me and said, well done. And I'm like, yay, well done my ass, I wanted that thing up there. This was just when we got into the park, so I had to store this in a... Obviously I didn't want to carry this around and he's going to sit on me next to the roller coaster. Can you picture that? You enjoying this? No! It's scary! I should do my Toad voice, even though it frightens some people. Yeah, son. I'm going to move... Get! That better? Yeah, that'd be better. Look. Now you can see the reflection of the camera. Here it is. Oh, that's better. I can see again. So where was I? Yeah. So we had to store it inside a like it was a locker. It was a giant locker, but he filled the whole thing because he's such a fat bastard. So yeah. And then I retrieved him, and we went back on. We came by coach actually to that place, and so I was carrying him around, saying, on the coach, saying, "Look what I won. Wish it was a fucking Shadow." So my friend didn't get a shadow, but I'm like, well, if they didn't know I was going to get it, I don't need to tell them. But if they're watching this now, oh no, they won't know, will they? Will they? They'll think, well, I could have got a shadow, but I didn't, and he's got a giant toad. And like I said, I don't need a giant toad. I have a toad. I have a toad. So now I have the evolution of Toad here. We got the little baby one. And we got the I'll call this the child one. And then we got the giant one who's got a crick in his voice. I'm so fucking pissed off. Okay. So there's the story of that one. He's an accident waiting to happen as well, probably. That's you. Go and join Bart. Have a kiss or something, I don't know. Do fun guys and boys get along? Coming up next is a rather bizarre one. We're fine. Here's this one. Like I said, you've seen the thumbnail, you know what they all look like, so now you know what the last one is. Aww. For those of you that don't know, this person's name is Mandy. Mandy Pandy. No, not Mandy. Just Mandy. And Mandy here, is from a cartoon known as The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And I've become a really big fan of the show. If you haven't watched the cartoon, I suggest you do. It's kind of, the humor is questionable. It's kind of like gross humor, like it's supposed to be a gross cartoon or whatever, but the story is just funny as hell, and the characters are just brilliantly written and funny, and I love it. There's nothing else I can say, and I think I recall saying on a live stream quite recently that the voice of, when I was playing Crash Bandicoot on live stream, the voice of the Tuka Tuka mask or whatever he is actually the voice of the person who does the Grim Reaper. Because it's two kids named Billy and Mandy, this one here, and I think one of their family members was going to get killed, so obviously the Grim Reaper has to pay a visit, and they caught him, and then they're like, you know, this person wants everything in life. She's spoiled, so a bitch in the making. But I was like, I just became curious. I'm like, I've never seen any plushies of these characters anywhere, like ever. Obviously there is now, but how did I acquire it is a different story. No claw machine this time, and no little stall or whatever. I had to buy this online. But I didn't buy it through Amazon or whatever. I actually bought it from just someone that I knew on the internet, because I was just like curious. I was like, have you ever seen plushies of these characters? And I showed him the cartoon. Sorry, the camera almost cut out there, so I just had to save it briefly. Don't worry, we're still recording, we're still live. So I showed him, and he's like, I've seen those before somewhere. And I'm like, get me one. And he got me a Mandy. I'm like, great. And I'm like, how much did it cost? And he said the cost, and then so we did the old electronic transfer of money. Don't worry, he hadn't got any. It was safe. We used one of those safe things. I don't know what they're called. What are they called, Mandy? You don't know, do you? So yeah, we got that. Who am I, the town crier here? Hear ye, hear ye. You don't ring. Ding, 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 ding. Your body's so fucking... But this is realistic to the actual cartoon, because their heads are huge, but their bodies are like... They're very small people. Obviously the Grim Reaper isn't like that, though, in the show. The Grim Reaper is... yeah, so that's the premise of the show, is these two kids now own the Grim Reaper, because he lost a match of limbo down thing to them. Yeah. That was on the first episode. And yeah, it's really funny. And the Grim Reaper's proper Jamaican guy. I thought it was just a guy putting on a Jamaican voice, but apparently he is actually Jamaican. And that actually goes interesting tale in itself. Is did you know the origins of the origins of the Grim Reaper? He's actually from Jamaican folklore. So yeah, so it seems appropriate to have him sound Jamaican. But it's just hilarious seeing a skeleton in a cloak just talk Jamaican. I mean, wouldn't it be? I mean, it's hilarious, but it is supposed to be a comedy. Like I said, it's supposed to be funny. It's a fucking cartoon, for God's sake. Even though Japan says no, cartoon is not funny, cartoon is serious. But yeah, over in the States and over here, we just have serious or educational cartoons because, you know, we suck. I wish we'd make more serious ones, god damn it. But, you know, I don't mind them. Anyway, getting back to the story. So obviously, that wasn't the end of it though. This is not the interesting part. Much like Bart over there now, I had to go some lengths to actually get this because the delivery came to my house when I wasn't there. And I had to go and get it back. And the thing to do when this did come along was we're going to drop it back at the sorting office, and they leave you a note through your door or whatever, and it says, we've left it here, to collect, take this card to claim your collection or whatever at the sorting office. The sorting office is an hour and a half's walk away. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta walk that far just to get this. I'm like, well, I may as well make a trip out of it. So on the way I went and bought a few things, and then, because I had to go through town, through the main part of town, and then go all the way to the sorting office, hour and a half, more than an hour and a half because I stopped in town, and then showed them the little card, and they got me the box, which was unbelievably light. She's so fucking light. It's shit. Hello. Yeah, unbelievably light and soft. Look at your spongy head. So yeah, unbelievably light, and I'm like, there's something in this box, right? So I was busy going, because she was all wrapped up in paper, and he'd done a good job of wrapping it all up and stuff. It's like, well, nothing's going to get to this, is it? And as you can see, it's completely unscathed. There's nothing wrong with you. So yeah, fix your hair a bit, sorry. This is perfect. So that's the story of how I got acquired a Mandy. And also she has this expression on her face, because if she smiles, the world, the universe would implode, as the cartoon states. And she's only smiled a handful of times. And I think they made a mistake on the first episode where she smiled before it kind of did like a circle closing in on her face to end it off. And she smiled. So yeah, that was the only time she smiled and the world didn't explode. But she smiled 2 other times, I think, in the entire show, and it went on for like 9 seasons, I think. So it's a big ass show. So plenty of episodes, and they made a few television movies as well, which I've seen. She never smiles. Never, ever, ever, ever. She's never happy. She's like an emo that wants everything. Yeah, I know. Hence the slight horns of the hair. Anyway, I'm boring those guys who know about Mandy, so I'll shut up. But now you know how I acquired this one. Yeah. How long we got? Okay, last but not least is the sad story. You're gonna love it. Is this guy. You're not going to know who this is probably unless you live here in England, but his name is Noddy, because he does an awful lot of nodding. He even makes noise. I never noticed that. I've had this one for a few years, so like I said, this is the most recent. So we've gone forward slowly through time. And he looks the most raggedy, to be honest, but there's a reason for that. I've saved him, shall we say, from certain deaths, because, you know, Toy Story's a thing, and made me get upset. So I'm like, you need a house to live in, because what happened was, I was walking to my mum's house, and because, you know, she's not that far away. It's about a 45-minute walk, and, you know, at this point I'm used to doing walks that last for fucking ever. So no big feat. And on my way there, they had like a skip. You know what they look like, right? I'll show you a picture of one. Here's a picture of a skip. Okay, it was a skip, and it was in someone's driveway, and it was just full of, obviously, a skip is something that you use, for those of you that don't know, to throw stuff that you don't want away, you don't want away, English please, that you don't want to keep, so you throw it away, and obviously if it saves you a trip to the dump or whatever, so you don't have to drive, especially if you don't drive a car, they can deliver a skip to you, and then you pay for it and whatever, and then you put whatever you don't want into it. Guess who I saw leaning over the side of it, out at the road, looking ever so deprived, was this little guy. And this is my goddamn childhood, for those of you that want to know. Obviously, as a kid, I'd watch television. I mean, what kid doesn't? But, yeah, well, this was one of the shows. And I liked it. I thought, that's good memories. That's my childhood right there. I gotta save him. So, I was like, I came to my mum's house. I didn't pick him up immediately because I was like, well, if I get in trouble, you know, uneducated me on the world of skips at the time. And I'm like, Mum, there's a skip down the road, and I saw Noddy in it. And she's like, and she's like, what, do you want it? Because she knows I collect all these fucking things. And I'm like, yeah. Is there a possibility of me having it? Like, we could go and talk to them and I could have it? And she's like, it's in there for a reason, because whatever they throw in there, they don't fucking want. And, well, she didn't use the word fucking. She doesn't swear. She's a nice woman, unlike me. I'm a horrible man. So she said, yeah, if it's in the skip, then they don't want it. You can take it. And I'm like, yay. And she gave me a plastic bag. And then on my way back home later, I'm going to go and get him. And he was a lot worse looking than this. I mean, he was a fucking mess. Because obviously it'd been in a skip, and it had probably been, there you go, it'd been raining, so if I touch him something bad's gonna happen. But no, obviously I just went, oh god, I had to drag him. He was pinned. There was a plank of wood on his back, like down this way, so I had to kind of like, and he was up against the metal on the side as well, obviously, of the container. So it was like, oh no, I don't want to rip you or anything. And it was like, so I pulled him out, and God, he was in a mess. So the minute we got home, I threw you in the washing machine. I had to take his clothes off first, because they have to wash them all separately. I don't think this is washable either, so I had to take that off completely. So that's still in its original state, but it doesn't look that bad, that little necker thing. But yeah, the rest of him, this doesn't come off, so just as well. But yeah. And these shoes had to come off because they're not washable either, and they're plastic as well. So yeah, and then threw him in the washing machine. He seemed alright. He came out. He looks great, doesn't he? Compared to what he looked like, I wish I had a picture comparison so you could see how bad he looked. But he was a lot better. He had a very messy face. I can still kind of see it around the mouth area. I think the dye from the mouth has gone into the actual face, but he's fine. And I've saved him. Hooray. I've saved my childhood from being thrown away into a dump just to rot away, because Toy Story got to me. I blame Toy Story. So yeah, there's a nice little happy story to finish things off. So there, we got a claw machine for £100, an intentional plushie collection, and I need one of these. Is there one? Oh yes, there's one in the States. I'll send you money, you send me plushie, and we'll all be happy. Mandy actually wasn't that expensive, so just as well. In terms of, yeah, dollars to pounds, we had to convert, and I was like, no, that's good then. So yeah, and this didn't cost anything. It just cost me a little bit of love. And I still have all the love for him. I get too emotional with these guys, I swear. Right, I got more to end things off, because time is pushing. I've got about 3 minutes left on the camera, so I don't want to start filming it again. So we're going to wrap things up. But I hope you enjoyed these stories, and let me know which one you found the most amusing. Coughing. But yeah, but that's all the plushies. I'll be very delicate with you. There we go. And to prove that you can win claw machines, I've acquired some, not all of them, because otherwise we'll be going on forever. Of some of the plushies I have acquired through claw machines. So there you go. Claw machines are possible. You just got to stick to it. The other technique also is no, I can't spill any news because someone that I knew obviously has worked with these said claw machines, and I've heard a little. Can you keep a secret of how these work? And I'm like, yeah. So I'm keeping that promise. I'm sorry. Look it up somewhere. I'm sure someone's divulged. But yeah, I'm going to thank everyone for watching. It's been another chatty yaki, and I've been yakking. So that's all good. I've also been drinking. But in a couple of weeks' time, I'm actually thinking of doing my first edited piece of video. Yeah, look forward to what that is. It might be a list. I'm not sure what list. It might be Simpsons based. It might be wrestling based. Might be video game based, but it will be a list next time. But obviously you'll find out when I release it in a couple of weeks time. But in any case, I'm going to thank everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you however and whenever. Good day and goodbye. Time's running out on the camera. Plushies. Hell, ow. What happened there? Well, there's the footage for the thumbnail.